Hello everyone, we're Group 1 and we're going to be covering accounting, application, lifecycle management, and governance. So this is the overview of our project. So we're going to be covering software development methodology, testing methodology, continuous improvement, delivery, support and maintenance, and customer satisfaction. I'm going to be covering software development. Keisha will cover testing and continuous improvement. Ilya will cover the delivery, Amir will cover support and maintenance, and Harveer will cover customer satisfaction. The scope of this project is to have an accounting application that can take care of important financial tasks like recording transactions, managing customer and vendor contacts, sending invoice, seeing upcoming bills, monitoring accounts, and essentially recording the flow of money in the company and keeping track of its financial condition. The things that would be in scope would be producing management documentation and estimating risk, training for the application, having feedback from users on time and conducting regular testing, evaluating objective and performance indicators to ensure project requirements are met, having live support when application is delivered. Out of scope would be integration with Unix Linux systems, accessing the application via mobile phone, and pre-sales analysis. The constraints would be that the application would have to be released on time to avoid competition from other major application releases. The developer's workload on other products might impact the schedule. The stakeholders would be end users, the project build team, including the managers and the developers, marketing department, customer service department, and lastly, the company shareholders. For this project, we chose the Agile software development methodology. In this methodology, requirements and solutions evolve through collaboration between different teams. The main focus is on the people doing the work and how they work together that enables the teams to deliver the product faster with good quality. We chose this methodology because for our accounting application, this methodology would allow the team to be readily available to respond to development requests. In Agile software development, it is important for developers to understand what they're building because it's the role of the developer to design, install, and test the software. And without a proper understanding of what they're supposed to build, this will lead to poor software code and that will cause slowness and crashing of the application. This will in turn anger the customers and stakeholders and will result in a project failure. It is important to avoid the scenario as customers are always a top priority and their fair feedback is what determines if your application will be successful or a failure. Stakeholders also need to be kept happy because they're the ones funding and approving the project, and without their approval, their project might go nowhere.
Testing methodology. Testing engineers can assure the software by using the following methods. Unit testing, which is used to test and validate components in the software for our accounting app, and to make sure that each part of the code works, such as the database and login page. Integration testing is used to test the different code developed for the app and to ensure that they are able to be integrated with one another without any issues. For instance, it would be bad if the team cannot integrate the login page and the database code. System testing is done to evaluate what the functional requirements of the app is, as well as evaluate the system compliance against the app's requirements. Performance testing is done to ensure that our app is able to work and perform under a workload and trying to eliminate any potential performance bottlenecks. Stress testing is similar to performance, but in this case is used to test the app under an extreme workload and to see whether or not the app can handle a certain amount of data, such as a very large data set. Security testing is done on the app to ensure that there is no exploits and vulnerabilities to help mitigate the security risks of the app from potential threats such as SQL injections. Recovery testing is done to ensure that the application can recover data to a previous working state after a crash or an application failure has occurred. Continuous improvement. Development teams can hold bi-weekly and monthly meetings to discuss areas of improvement for different departments and come up with a strategy on how to improve their work. Another method of continuous improvement would be to look at the customer's feedback from the app and based on that, what they need to improve for the app and try to implement the most requested features. Lastly, by seeing what other competitors are implementing and gauging how successful it is, this will allow the team to implement similar successful features.
So now we'll be talking about the delivery of our product. So Our main and most efficient way of delivering our product, which is the Smart App, would be through a mobile application store for users to update. This would be primarily using either the Apple Store application for iPhone users or Google Play for Chrome OS and Android phones. We would also be providing a master copy of the Smart App to clients as an exe format that they can install on their Windows or Mac OS devices. And the way this would work is that they would be offered a installer program, which is also an exe format, which will prompt the user for a license agreement. They would go over the policy review as to what would be the legal and proper way to use our application. Once they understand that, they can then, the installer will download and install any dependent files needed to run the actual program, and it'll actually provide the master copy of the Smart App as mentioned before. We're also going to be looking into Linux distribution once we receive adequate feedback from our tester and customer responses once we've rolled out the Windows and Mac OS versions of the Smart App, and also see if there's any demand for Linux distribution. We also want to make sure that our current rollout of our Windows and Mac OS versions and our mobile device versions are up to date and also patched for any vulnerabilities and such. We will do that afterwards, so Linux distribution is out of scope as of now. Furthermore, we'll also have a web interface that would be available to our clients with a central web server. This will be where we interact with our clientele, and that'll be our main way of distributing our smart application to our clients through a download link. We'll also be having a backup server and a database server in order to ensure that there's a continuous uptime for our web server, as this is our main method of distributing our product, and as such we can't afford to lose any uptime with our clients.
Supply and maintenance. This is very important step in our software development lifecycle and governance to evaluate the performance of our smart app project. In case of any bugs, error, vulnerability, and other threats found that can be mitigated and fixed in software development phase can be found in our updates. And these updates of the application can be easily supply over 70 million flows through whether respective app application. Maintenance can be easily applied by rolling out update to devices which ensure that the user are using the latest version of the application. We will be also providing the web interface that will be updated over the maintenance in case of any bugs, error or vulnerability found. And there will be another master smart copy will be provided to the client in exe format, whether it's a Windows or Mac operating system. Customer satisfaction. This is the last phase of our project, which we will be focusing a lot because this is a reflection of our productivity and we can evaluate our performances. With the team using software development lifecycle, this will allow customer to receive a high quality product. We will be conducting customer satisfaction survey by via web interfaces to our all stakeholders, whether they are internal, external, or they are our client. As we know that the globally all the organizations have been adopt virtual module, so we will be providing this survey by email, by a form, or this form we will be distributing to our client a hard copy to evaluate the performance of our productivity.